Susan Beth, and you are listening to the She Is podcast, where we talk about living life intentionally and about trusting that the desires you have deep within you are there for a reason. I believe that the creator of the universe put those desires within you and that they are pathways to your purpose. My desire is that this would be a space that encourages you to lean in and to hear the whispers of the divine, and that you would be reminded of things that I honestly believe you already know. That you, my friend, are here for a reason. So if you're here for more conversations in that kind of space, welcome. Let's go. Happy New Week, friend. This week's focus from the Winter Seasonal Journal is called Darkness. And with this focus title alone, I know that many of you are counting down the weeks until spring. But here I am showing up, inviting you to be present in the season that we are in. I stopped by a store yesterday, and I don't know why I was surprised. I should be used to it, but I genuinely am surprised every time when I find myself surrounded by decorations, themes, all the stuff for seasons and celebrations that are weeks, if not months away. And it reminded me that this is one of the reasons why it is so hard for us to remain and stay present and to be content in a season, because everything around us, everywhere we look, is trying to pull us ahead to what's next. So thank you for being here. Thanks for choosing to take the time to be intentional about how you are living your days and the way that you desire to live the life that God, your creator, created you to live. And I mentioned early on when I was talking about the journal a few weeks or months ago about the focus for this winter season, that I'm well aware that the darker color scheme and the weekly focus themes, they aren't necessarily inviting to many of you. And I joked with you how my melancholy personality doesn't necessarily shy away from these kind of seasons, and how I always loved watching sad movies just to cry my eyes out. Yet even I will admit, even though I love a good cry, I'm no different than you, and that I would never willingly choose a hard season to walk through. And my hope is that this week's focus will help reframe the darkness that we all have to navigate when walking through a winter season of life. Because no matter if we would choose it or not, we are all going to experience them. We tend to associate darkness with evil and fear, yet the truth is deep and sometimes beautiful things happen in the dark. I can remember as a child laying in bed in the dark and just hating the silence that the darkness seemed to amplify. And I think I've mentioned before how even years later, when I was much older and sharing a room with my younger sister, that I would leave our bedroom door open so that the light could peek in, and she would get up out of bed and close it because she wanted the room to be totally dark. And so she would close it, get back in bed, and then I would get back up and go crack it back open again so I could see the light. And this would continue until one of us eventually gave in or fell asleep. But I love how the Message version reads from Psalm 139, verses 8 through 12. Is there any place I can go to avoid your spirit, to be out of your sight? If I climb to the sky, you're there. If I go underground, you're there. If I flew on morning's wings to the far western horizon, you'd find me in a minute. You're already there waiting. Then I said to myself, oh, he even sees me in the dark. At night, I'm immersed in the light. It's a fact. Darkness isn't dark to you. Night and day, darkness and light, they're all the same to you. I love this passage so much, and I have found it to be so true, that there is nowhere that I can be that God is not there. And I have found that in the dark moments of my life, His light seems to shine even brighter. And the intensity of the brightness is perfect. You know how sometimes you walk into a room and the light is just so harsh that you find yourself squinting and just feeling uncomfortable? Or when you grab your phone in the middle of the night and the glare of the screen, which is horrible for us to be looking at, it feels blinding. And this is so not how the love and light that we receive from God is in our life. His love is always perfect towards us. He knows when we are sitting or even laid out in the darkness that a spotlight or high-intensity beam of light is not what we need in that moment. The comfort or the soft glow of a candle is more what is needed. A small flicker of light can sometimes be hard for our soul to take in those dark moments. In time, our eyes and our soul adjust and we are able to take in and receive more light. And I found that the light revealed and seen in the dark is even more radiant and life-giving because it's not competing with anything else in my vision. Here are a few prompts from this week's focus that I would love to invite you to think about and to pray about and to process and maybe even journal about. Are you afraid of the dark? Does sitting in silence settle you or make you anxious? Do you find it hard to believe that you are truly never alone? The darkness will try to convince you and I that we are alone when we walk through dark winter seasons and that no one sees us. But if you remember anything from this week's focus, may it be that you are never alone, beautiful one, even in the dark.
Hey, you. Thanks for listening. And if you would like to connect more, head over to SusanBeth.com and sign up, and you will be one of the first to find out about anything new. Plus, there's a special free download available just to say thanks. If something in this episode did speak to you, would you do me a favor and share it with a friend that you think it might resonate with as well? And until next time, keep showing up in the world just as God purposed you to do, because you being you is exactly what we all need.